This is a great segue to what we're going to talk about right now, K-Mac.
Y'all so
great segue.
Give him a chance. Man, we get a chance to do this every so often.
Yeah.
We get a chance to do – I love talking to this guy because he has tremendous insight. We get a chance to do a little shoot around with CL Brown.
They're playing basketball.
A little different topic
When it
today,
comes
though.
to what's happening in college basketball, no one has the lowdown like CL Brown. Now, it's time to hit the hardwood with CL Brown for the Sports Shop Shoot-Around.
All right, CL, welcome to the show, my friend.
CL, my
we
brother.
got lots to talk about.
Good morning, gentlemen. What's good?
What's going on, my friend? So is that all it takes for you? I mean, for Louisville to be in the conversation, in December, for you to go over there and show them how it's done? Huh? Is that what it takes? You went over there to show them how it's done?
I wish I had those kind of powers.
Oh, no, you made a difference, CL. They changed the thing around. You went up there.
I think Jeff Brom had a lot to do with that, but I'll take the credit, though.
It's all right, man. So speaking of that, let's just jump right in. So you've been covering this Louisville team. A lot of people in this area, other places too, are shocked and kind of looked up and go, huh, they are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So give us some insight on how this team, came into form and shaping to be where they are right now.
Well, I think Scott Satterfield left. He it wasn't one of those situations where Jeff Brom came in as head coach having to rebuild from the bottom up.
Okay.
Scott Satterfield left a pretty good skeleton behind. I should use a better word than skeleton, huh? He left a better, he left a good infrastructure behind. And Jawar Jordan, the running back, is one of those players who was, came up through Satterfield. They established a solid running game through Satterfield, and Brom has added to it offensively. And I think what they do better than most teams, and he does better than most coaches, is they know who they are. You know what I'm saying? They don't try and do stuff that's not in their wheelhouse. They stick to what is a winning formula. Because Jeff Brom, he's a former quarterback at University of Louisville, offensive-minded guy. He wants to throw the ball. He would be pass happy if he had the personnel to do it. But with this team, they don't have the personnel. Jack Plummer at quarterback, he's more of a game manager. And so Brom accepts that and doesn't have him throwing 30-plus times a game.
Okay.
They establish the run. They stick to they stick to the winning formula for them. And I think, obviously, the way it's played out, it's been successful this year.
Oh, man, we're talking to CL Brown, who covers the Louisville Cardinals out of Louisville, and, of course, a regular right here on the Sports Shop. So, again, this game this weekend, I was going to have some bearings on what happens with the overall playoffs, and I'm putting it for Louisville to go in and take care of their business, and Alabama take care of their business so we can get a shot to get up in that CL.
Right. So we can get back to the business at hand.
That's right.
If Alabama wins, I don't think it matters what Florida State does in Louisville. You know what I'm saying? But I do think it is funny how Florida State spent all summer talking about how they can't succeed in the ACC,
That's
with
right.
the revenue gap.
That's
and
right.
everything.
I was just about to say.
And now, especially after Jordan Travis gets hurt, they have to tout that, hey, the ACC, we were a formidable conference, and if we win this game, we deserve to be in. You know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting point, though, because
Now you need me.
You remember the Board of Regents got somebody, we got to get out of the ACC. Remember that?
Look, we could afford it. Yeah. You give me a number.
Yeah.
You give me a number, and we out. Like, first of all, you don't have a home while you trying to be out.
Exactly.
Give me a number.
Yeah, exactly.
We talking with CL Brown. We talking a little Louisville and Florida State ACC Championship coming up. But yeah, you're right, CL. I think that's pretty ironic. Actually, that here they are now begging to stay.
Yeah.
And I hate to break it to NC State fans, but even if Louisville loses this game bad, Florida State goes to the playoffs, NC State isn't going to jump them in the CFP poll. So it's in all likelihood Louisville will end up in the Orange Bowl.
Oh, I forgot. That's right.
So hold on.
I forgot about that.
So
That's right.
So
That's
CL,
right.
a lot of listeners
Yeah.
are trying to catch up. So get people up to speed now. Give them some context on this because this conversation just kind of recently came about.
Yep.
And people are trying to figure out, like, so can NC State make it? So go ahead and
Good
set
point.
it up again so people can really get it.
It's the whole, the Dumb and Dumber line. So you're saying we have a chance? I mean, technically, there is a minuscule chance. So if the college football playoff takes Florida State, then the Orange Bowl would be the way it's written. They're obligated to take the highest ranked ACC team in the college football playoff poll.
Okay.
And so right now Louisville is at what were they 14 in the latest, and NC State is at 19. So NC State would have to jump Louisville in the college football poll if they lose to Florida State in the ACC Championship. They would have to fall enough spots, and NC State would have to jump enough spots. So I mean, without NC State actually playing, they're not going to jump 5 spots.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
It depends on it depends on the people between them in Louisville right now.
Well,
you could have a big conspiracy theory because NC State athletic director Boo Corrigan is the chair of the college football committee this year.
See, you coming to dropping these nuggets. You got everybody thinking, that's what's going on.
No, that's not what's going on because Louisville beat NC State head-to-head in their house earlier this year, and the committee weighs head-to-head, and Louisville beat Notre Dame, which ended Notre Dame's 30-game regular season win streak versus ACC opponents.
That's right.
So that's 2 wins against ranked teams in the college football poll. Yeah. The only win that NC State has of a ranked team in that poll is Clemson. So that's 2 things going. They lost head-to-head, and they don't have as many wins as Louisville against ranked teams in the poll. So they're not jumping Louisville.
Who was the quarterback?
We can I hate to be, the crushed dreams, but NC State ain't going to the one.
So who was the quarterback? I'm trying to remember the Louisville game. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
For NC State?
Yeah.
13-10. Yeah, NC State was winning 10-0 at halftime.
That's right. I remember.
Cam Kelly's revenge, because, when they played, when he was at Carolina and they lost to NC State.
That's right. That's right.
What was it, a minute 45 left?
Yeah.
Carolina's up 9, and they end up losing that game, and Cam Kelly was out of position on the first touchdown pass. Devin Leary, I forgot the receiver's name. Akizi, something like that.
Yeah.
You remember big dude.
Right. 88 or something. I know you're talking about.
Cam Kelly was out of position on that first touchdown pass, and then he just got beat on the second touchdown pass. So he had to exercise those demons when he came back with Louisville. He intercepted Brennan Armstrong in the end zone in the second half. He forced a fumble on an Armstrong scramble. Both of those turnovers led to, Louisville turning the tide in the second half and winning that game.
Wow. Oh, man, isn't
it amazing how that game, that situation is coming back to haunt NC State
Absolutely.
right now?
Real quick, we're talking to CL Brown, who covers Louisville, all things Louisville. But, your specialty is definitely on the hard court. Give us a synopsis or real quickly on this Kenny Payne's Louisville Cardinal team this year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tight year.
Okay.
They went 4-28 last year, so the fan base, they're really not. They don't have any room for patience right now. Even though I think this is a young team. He got more talent, through the portal and from his freshman recruiting class, but they're going to have those growing pains of a young team.
Sure.
I mean, his backcourt, Sky Clark, who was a highly talented recruit coming out of high school, played at Illinois, but he only played 13 games before he shut it down last year.
Oh, okay.
So he's really still a freshman in a lot of sense, too, even though, technically he's played college basketball 2 years now. So, and Tyler Johnson is a freshman guard that they bring off the bench that I think probably needs to be starting. But he because the ball just moves better when he's in the game. So they're going to take some lumps. They do have some talent. They should have, could have beat Texas in New York.
I saw that
last week. Yeah, lost at the buzzer. They also led Indiana late in the second half before they lost that game. So they're going to compete. They're not going to be as terrible as they were last year, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to save Kenny Payne's job. And kind of there are similarities between him and Matt Doherty's tenure at North Carolina, just in that he's a former player, and so he got his chance at his alma mater, and it's just not going well, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Nobody wants nobody wants it to end poorly because he's one of them, but.
But CL, that's my homeboy, CL. Me and Kenny, we grew up together, man.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So we talked about this when we were down in Charlotte, man. I understand what you're saying. I'm with you.
What he's saying, Kenny's going to end up writing books like Matt Doherty. He's writing books now. And that's what's going to happen.
Hold on, man. Kenny's that's my guy, man.
CL just gave you till you came out.
Oh man, come on, man. I can't sit here in good faith to let y'all do that. Look, because I call like it is on anybody, but call me after the show. I'll tell you what I think. But I will ask this question, though. I will ask this question because I did ask when he came on with us when we talked down in Charlotte.
Yeah, right.
And I talked about, you need to get some talent, and you also need to get some people in that can help establish an identity on that team, so you can figure out, okay, who are you? Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid he didn't get it. He hasn't done that, and it's not going to end well because he doesn't have that. Right. That's what I'm afraid of.
I do think they're starting to show an identity because I don't think last year they could hang their hat on anything. You know what I mean? You didn't play Louisville and say, well, they do this well.
Yeah,
they just kind of existed.
That's true.
But they're starting to become a good rebounding team, and they do have a knack for getting to the free throw line. They attack the basket this year, and that's something that they've started to do consistently. So
wow. See, that's where we are now. That's where we are now. He's a good student. Well, he come to class all the time.
No. There's a little bit of light, but you couldn't even say that last year. Like there was nothing they did definitively well.
They wasn't that good last year.
Yeah, they are good at attacking the basket and getting fouled, drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line. So that's I think that's part of their identity, and they've been rebounding well. Especially here of late in those games in Madison Square Garden and everything. So that's something that's better than where they were last year. But like I said, it's a young team, so it's like you're making some progress, but is that going to be enough? I don't know. They at this point they have to win a game they're not supposed to win for anybody to start to think that this could work. Because they haven't done that to this point, and that's why if they would have been able to hold on against Texas, that would have been a huge win. And actually, I wrote this, even in their loss, that was like the biggest win of Kenny Payne's 2 years. Losing by 1 point to Texas.
Matt,
hold
on, Matt.
See, you know how to do read your stuff. See, I read your stuff, man, and I saw that.
He said, wait a minute, you lost what you really won.
I mean,
it ain't bad as it felt. Yes, it is. It felt bad. Thanks a lot, CL.
All right, man.
Good job, though, man. You know what? We appreciate you, my friend.
We are. That's just where we are. But I'm also curious, with this ACC SEC challenge going on tonight. Obviously, Louisville isn't playing in it because they were a last place team last year, so they didn't get scheduled. But how the ACC is going to bounce back from, seeing probably its marquee team playing last night, Miami. I was at that game. They get blown out by Kentucky, losing by 22.
State getting blown out.
So CL, good point. No, I know we got to let you go in a minute, but that's a good point. Is Kentucky for real? I mean, they got like 10 guys that can go.
They got a fun team. They got a lot of shooting. I mean, it's
just like the
typical
Cowboys.
Calipari, young talent that, we'll see what they do in March. Kentucky is one of these teams where I have historically, the way they've played, over Calipari's tenure, they got to show me in March. Because it's like every year they come in with a hype freshman class, they win some games
Same thing
early
K-Mac
or
just
went
said.
win games during the season, and then they fizzle out, in the tournament. Since 2015, since that team that, went undefeated into the Final Four and lost to Wisconsin.
If you close your
they
eyes.
haven't made the Final Four since then. They haven't made the second weekend in the tournament since 2019. They lost to St. Peter's. They had the terrible
That's right.
9-16
That's
team
right.
during
That's right.
2020.
That's right.
They just haven't been up to par. And so, and Calipari really hadn't changed his formula in terms of how he constructs his roster.
See,
This team
You sound like a
doesn't
Cardinal
have a
for
lot
real.
of veterans.
You sound like a Cardinal for real. That's how Cardinals. That's how Louisville Cardinals. That's what they think about Calipari.
Wow.
But hey,
I think,
ICL.
I put them and Purdue in the same boat. Like they do all this in the regular season. You got to show
100%
it
right.
to me in March.
No, you're
show
right.
it to me in March. That's when I'll say. You
Well,
did it.
CL, part of the problem is that, man, you gave us all this stuff. You got to come back. So
Yeah.
you got a couple times a month, man, at least give us, because you got so much
Hey,
information.
man, we can do this every week.
Let's do it, though. We're going to do it, man.
All right, we'll do it.
We're going to go back to our regular scheduled time.
Yeah. And look,
doubt,
and I'm
no
gonna convince you that my main man Kenny, he got this. We good. We got this. He's a fighter, baby. We gonna be.
I hope you're right.
No.
He's a great guy.
Great guy.
Personable,
He is a great guy.
Great coach.
Probably do good
but-
on he probably got a nice podcast, too. He needs to start working on that.
Look,
All right, CL, we
He
got
can
to
preach
roll,
the
man.
word too. He preached the word too. He's a good dude, man. Anyway,
All right.
all
I
right,
appreciate
CL.
y'all. Have a
Take care,
good
man.
one.